you think Mai's gonna get down-tuned come season 3? I'll be honest, I've said this for a while, like ever since she came out, basically. I don't fully understand. I have not put a lot of thought into how strong Mai is. I know the consensus that she's very strong. I don't disagree with that necessarily. I don't know, for some reason, I have not really, I feel like I'm not thinking critically often when I'm fighting Mai anyways. I know the fan stuff can be a little bit oppressive. I guess I don't fully understand the idea behind why Mai is seen as, like, as brain dead and strong as she is, outside of just the fans. Which, the fan stuff is good, but I feel like, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like to really assess how good a lot of Mai's fan stuff is, you have to understand the details on the exact interactions on, like, a charged fan versus a non-charged fan versus whatever, that I don't really know the nuances of, right? So I just kind of look at it like, it seems at a glance that the only fans that are, like, really truly crazy are the EX ones, which is, like, that seems fine in theory if, like, her EX fans, if you can basically spend 2 meter to, like, win neutral for free and put you in a plus frame situation. Because I feel like a good chunk of characters can EX Fireball and then basically it's their turn now in this video game, unless you have a very strong anti-projectile option. Mai's are even better than that, certainly, but if that's, like, her thing, right, is just having those really good projectiles, then so I'm not saying that I disagree that Mai's really good. It's more so just that at first blush, I don't really get it, right? At first blush, she's not, if she is strong, it feels like it's not in necessarily the, and she may very well be, again, I'm not saying she's not, but if she is, it doesn't feel like it's in the traditional sort of Street Fighter 6 way, maybe? Like, she doesn't feel strong to me in the way that, like, Ken or Akuma or Bison feel strong when I fight them, right? It'll be her, like, I assume that it's all wrapped up in just, like, the fans and how oppressive the fans are. Now, maybe I'm, you know, Geef has his own, like, specific fan counterplay. It's the first time that Lariat and its anti-projectile properties have, like, ever mattered. And it seems to work alright. At least it forces Mai's to play around it, and when they're playing around it, the fans become a lot less oppressive, it feels like. So I'm not sure if this is just, like, me being like, well, I don't know, Geef has a decent answer to it, so it must not be that bad. Where, like, you know, 99% of the cast otherwise probably would. So it feels... So I'm like downplaying how bullshit the fans are. But personally, I don't fully get it. If she is as strong as everyone says, then yes, people are putting her, you know, in conversations for best character in the game. Mai's OnlyFans, you know? Now that you mention that, I wonder if they did that on purpose. Yeah, my basically, if you have to think about her power, it is OnlyFans. That's correct. It's OnlyFans where my generates all of her power budget. So yeah, I don't know. Like, if she is as strong as people say she is, I would expect her to get tuned down. You know, people are putting her in the same class as characters who I would very much, at least hope, would get a slight tuning down, right? Characters like Akuma, like Rashid, like Bison, like Ken, right? Stuff like that. So if she's that good, I would expect it. But again, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel it with Mai. I have no hard evidence to be like, well, actually, Mai's not that good because of this. Mai generates her budget, her power budget through OnlyFans. Yeah. I have, like, no hard counter arguments to be like, Mai's not actually as good as people say she is, and here's why. It's just more that the Mai's that I fought in, like, 15 to 1600 don't really strike me as terrifying in the same way that like Akuma or Ken do. And like, I guess, because the idea is you think like, oh, maybe Mai is, like, really difficult to play, so, like, you know, her true strength only comes out when people are, like, even better at the video game. But that's not what I've been hearing either. I've been hearing that Mai is just brain dead, and you just, like, hit fans and you win the game. And I'm like, that does not seem to be what happens with me. But again, I'm not sure if that's just this matchup being pretty good for Geef, or I don't even know if the matchup is good for Geef, but at least he seems to have some ways out of the fans, potentially. I'm not sure. I don't like to usually have, like, very strong opinions on things unless I'm like, I actually have reason to, right? Just parry Bozo? Yeah, so, okay. To like, not just weaponize my own incompetence here. My understanding is basically, like, if the Steel Man argument, as I understand it, for why Mai might be the best character in the game, or, you know, up there, is because, sure, just parry Bozo, but Mai essentially, if she throws a fan at you and she can follow up with her drive rush, then she can basically spend one drive bar in neutral to basically, from neutral, immediately force a 50-50 on you, right? Which sounds pretty good, right? I don't know if there's more nuance to that. Like, is it really anytime she throws a fan? Does she have to charge a fan, and therefore, if you're a character with a fireball, you can potentially, you know, take advantage of that? If you're a character, could you like see that, react, and jump, right? and like land maybe before she DPs? Is that not a thing? Like there's a lot of nuances to those interactions that gotta matter. How good is it? Like how easy is it really for Mai to just hold the button down, get a charged fan out, have that fan bounce, and 50-50 you know, for no resource in the mid screen, right? Because if that is something that, like, if you actually examine the details of the interaction, there's just no counterplay to that, right? Mai can just, at any point, if she has enough space between you and her, she can just throw the fan out and boom, 50-50. That obviously, you know, Street Fighter 6 is a very snowbally game. So while that 50-50 probably isn't going to kill you, it's more of the thing of like, if you take the throw, you get pushed very close to the corner, at which point things really will start to snowball and go bad for you. And if you don't take the throw, then she gets like a decent combo and probably carries you all the way to the corner, right? She has some decent corner carry with her little cartwheel elbow thing, right? So if that is the idea, and you know, I don't understand the nuances of the fan interaction, basically. But if the idea is that if she ever gets enough distance from you, she just gets to immediately put you in a free 50-50 that has very little counterplay, then fair enough. That sounds pretty fucking strong to me, right? But my feeling fighting Mai is that the fans do not quite lack that much like there's a lot more counterplay to it than that, unless she spends the EX and throws like 3 of them or whatever the fuck. In which case, yeah, you're holding that shit. But then, you know, if she's doing that as a drive rush, that's 3 drive bars, right? For 3 drive bars, a lot of characters can do some really nasty shit to you. So I feel like that is like a good thing for her to have, but not like top 1 broken, right? So yeah, I would really need to understand in a little bit more depth how exactly like, you know, when Mai is on the other side of the screen. That's why I need to buy the DLC for this game at some point. Brick concisely explains in detail his thoughts on Mai. Brick's chat, he horny. Yeah, people talk about gooting and they can't fight Mai because they're playing with one hand and shit like that. But yeah, like, this is why I need to buy the DLC for this game, because I really need to lab out a lot of this stuff. Because, like, you know, if Mai is like at this distance for that Ryu is here and she starts charging fan, how reactable is that? If it is reactable, if I do react to it, what can I do? If I jump, does she recover in time? If I react in a reasonable amount of time, I react in like 19 frames or something like that, right? If she throws it and I jump, can I land before she can anti-air me? Even if I can't take a turn back, can I at least like close distance on her and now we're up close where she can't do the fan bullshit anymore, right? Or is it unreactable, in which case I'm basically having to guess whether or not she's going to charge the fan, right? Or is it reactable, but if I jump, she recovers in time, that if I jump, she can still just anti-air me every time, so jumping isn't an option. You know, once she throws the fireballing isn't really an option either. It's just going to clash with it, and she's going to go first, right? So, like, the nuances of how exactly the fan interaction work, to me, hold a lot of the key as to how good Mai is really. And because I'm the idiot who doesn't understand it, seeing that a lot of characters, or a lot of, not characters, a lot of very strong players are like, putting Mai very highly, I presume that if I dug deeper into that fan RPS, that I would find that it is actually probably incredibly heavily favored for Mai. That's because otherwise, if it's not the fans, I don't know what else is super good about her. Her damage seems all right. Her buttons seem good. She has some good pokes, certainly some like good, like her stand heavy kick, I think. She has some good buttons to like poke and fish for punish counters and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I really would need to think about it a little bit more. For 3 drive bars, Geef gets to turn a minus normal into strike throw for possibly a third of your HP. Right, exactly. Like, if the idea is that if my EX fireball drive rushes, that shit is a really bad situation for you, I'm kind of like, that's fair. That costs half her drive bar, right? Like, if that's a really strong situation, it's something that Geef can't do. You know, Geef can't, from this far away, spend 3 drive bar and immediately put you in an SPD 50-50, for example. So, like, it will still be a good thing for her to have, but I don't think that'll be, like, a broken thing for her to have, right? Anyway, I wanted to talk about, this goddamn, if I have Ryu forward jump on wake up, Guile can't do what Mai does, I swear? Well, sure, but Guile has a very different game plan than Mai, right? Guile can certainly rush down, and he will, and good Guiles certainly do. You can't just zone forever, right? But, like, Guile's plan is not to throw the sonic booms at you to then follow up into a strike throw 50-50, right? Guile's ideal game plan is to just sit there throwing sonic booms and flash kicks and literally never interact with you. Now, realistically, against someone who is representing their RPS situations against Guile's zoning properly, he can't do that, which is why, you know, he will have to follow up. He's gonna have to drive rush in and take some turns back. He has to, like, he can't just, like, sit there forever, right? The risk reward will eventually, like, you know, if you get it on him once, he can't just zone forever, so he does have to actually start fighting. But Guile has a very different game plan than Mai, right? The one Mai throws like 4 fans, they can only hold it, and then she gets anything she likes. I don't know what I can do, but I'm lazy scrub. Yeah, so again, I agree, Scalar X, I agree that, yeah, even to an idiot like me, the EX fans certainly just win her, right? They certainly they just win her neutral, right? For sure. But again, if it's EX fans into Drive Rush is what we're talking about, 3 drive bars? Yeah. Does Mai have an anti-air shaped like Flash Kick? She does, but it's certainly smaller, I think, right? Mai's DP has certainly whiffed on me in times where, like, he does, like, a very similar sort of, like, somersault kick. But I don't think it's as generous of a hitbox as Gal's Flash Kick. At least not in experience, doesn't feel that way. Gal has tools to pressure, but it's not his main thing. Right, whereas Mai's fans are entirely a tool designed to get her in. Right, Mai is like a rushdown mix-up character. It's just that the fans are what get her to her win condition. Guile's win condition is the fireballs. Like, Guile's win condition is sitting at full screen and zoning you out, right?